Hey, welcome back to another edition of Check This Out Mathematics. And I encourage you to give me a thumbs up on these videos and subscribe to my channel and give me some comments down below. And we are continuing our series on lessons on logarithms. And so this time around, we are going to focus on a couple things that we've talked about before. First of all, remember that our overall idea of exponents and logarithms here, that if we have b to the n equals x, that means that log base b of x equals n. And so the logarithm is asking, what is the power? So what is the power that makes b become x? And since b to the n is x, then the log base b of x equals n. And anytime we want to go back and forth here, if we're here, we can make this round trip, b to the n equals x, and it sends us back to where we have our original statement here. Okay, and then we want to also focus on something we showed before. These are the laws of exponents, that when you multiply, you add the exponents, and when you're dividing, you subtract the exponents. Okay, notice that the bases are the same here, so when the bases are the same, you add the exponents, and when the bases are the same here and you're dividing, you subtract the exponents. And when you have a power to a power, then we multiply the powers. Okay? And you should be familiar with these ideas. I mean, this is what we know to be true. If we have x to the third times x to the fifth, well, we would add those exponents and we would get x to the 8th, right? Isn't it that 3x's multiplied by themselves and 5 more x's multiplied by themselves means we have 8x's multiplied by themselves? Okay, and then if we happen to have x to the 8th divided by x to the 5th, well, then we would subtract the exponents. Okay, and so if we have x to the 8th divided by x to the 5th, we would subtract the exponents and we would get back to x to the 3rd. Okay, and so that makes sense here. We take the result here and we divide by one of the factors and we get the other factor. Okay, and then if we happen to have x to the 3rd to the 5th, well, that means we have 3 x's and 3 more x's and 3 more x's and 3 more x's and 3 more x's. Hope I said it 5 times, right? Okay, so that means we have x to the 3rd times 5, and that's x to the 15th. Okay, so we're familiar with these laws of logarithms here, laws of exponents. And those have equivalent properties, equivalent laws for logarithms. That when we multiply, we add the logarithms. When we're multiplying, we add the logarithms. Isn't that, after all, a log is an exponent. And so when we're multiplying, we add these exponents. The log base b of a is an exponent, and the log base b of b is an exponent. And isn't that true? Yes. You see, n is an exponent, n is an exponent, and so this log base b of x is an exponent. Okay? And so when we're multiplying, we add the exponents. And when we're dividing, we subtract the exponents. And here we have a power to a power. And so when we have a power to a power, we multiply the powers. Here's the power p multiplied by the other power, log base b of a. Okay? Okay, so we have our laws of logarithms. And today what we're going to do is use these laws of logarithms to simplify expressions. Okay? And notice I have these back and forth arrows here. What we're going to be doing is taking a log expression like this and compressing it back to its original form. So if we have subtraction of logs, we write it as division. If we have addition of logs, we write it as multiplication. And if we have a power times a log of a power times a log, that's the same as a power to a power. If we're multiplying the powers, that's the same as a power to a power. Okay, so let's do some problems involving that. And the first one we have queued up here is log of 16 plus log of 125 minus log of 2. Okay, so now when we're adding the logarithms, then that's the same as multiplying the numbers, the arguments. And when we're subtracting, that's the same as dividing. Okay, so another way to think of this is that the laws of logarithms, the plus tells you that you were multiplying, and the minus tells you that you were dividing here. Okay, so the signs tell you things. Isn't that what's true in life? The signs tell you things. Okay. All right, so then let's compress this as log of 16 times 125 divided by 2. Okay, so when we're adding, we multiply the arguments here. Okay, so log of a plus log of b is log of a times b. And then when we're subtracting, we divide. So we divide by 2. Okay, and so let's continue to simplify this. This is 16 divided by 2. That's 8. So we have log of 8 times 125. Okay. And then, let's see. 8 times 125. Well, let's think about that for a moment. 8 times 125 is the same as 8 times 100 plus 8 times 25. Isn't that true? 100 eighths and 25 more eighths means you have 125 eighths. Yeah. Okay. And so that's 800. And 25 times 8, well, that's 200. So we have 1,000. Okay. All right, nice conceptual way to think of multiplication there. And so we have log of 1,000. And then, do we stop there? No. We have a base that's understood to be base 10. So when the base is not written, then that's because it's understood that we're talking about base 10. And so now we're going to ask the question. 10 to what power is 1,000? Remember, that's what a logarithm is asking. What's the power? What power of 10 gives us 1,000? And so the 10 to the third is 1,000. Okay? And so therefore, log base 10 of 1,000 is 3. And we have our answer. Okay. Nice compression of logarithms to get a whole number answer. All right, let's do another one. All right, here we have log of 1,000 plus log of 0.01. Let's come back to this example another time. Actually, I want to do this one. Okay, so we're going to do log base 12 of 2 plus log base 12 of 3 minus log base 12 of 72. Okay, so once again, when we're adding logarithms, that means we were multiplying. And when we were subtracting, that means we're dividing. So let's compress this. So we have log base 12 of 2 times 3 divided by 72. Okay, so when we're adding, the logarithms, the arguments are being multiplied. And when we're subtracting, then the argument is being divided. Okay, so now this gives us log base 12 of 6, and 72 is 6 times 12, isn't it? Okay, and now let's put a 1 here. Okay, 6 times 1, same thing as 6. And so then we can divide out the 6's and have 1/12. So we have log base 12 of 1/12. And so now what is the power that makes 12 become 1/12? So you might remember that if we want fractions, we have to have negative exponents. Okay, so 12 to the negative 1 is a 12. And so there's our answer, negative 1. Okay, awesome. All right, let's do another problem. All right, here's a good one. Example 3. Okay, this time I have log base 8 of 25 minus log base 8 of 20 minus log base 8 of 10. Okay, now remember that in our laws of logarithms, the plus means that we were multiplying, and the minus means that we were dividing. Okay? Or another way to think of it means that when we're adding here, the a and the b are in the numerator. A times b, and you can think of that as a times b over 1. Okay? And when we're subtracting, the b is in the denominator. So subtraction means this moves to the denominator. Okay? All right. So now then, when we compress this 25 is in the numerator, and the 20, since it's a minus here, is in the denominator, and this 10 is also in the denominator since it's a subtraction here. Okay? And so it compresses like this. 25, and the 20 is in the denominator, and the 10 is in the denominator. And so what are these two things doing in the denominator? Well, they're being multiplied. Okay? Okay. So the 25 is in the numerator, the 20, because it was subtraction, is in the denominator, and the 10, because it was subtraction, is also in the denominator. And then these are being multiplied. Okay? All right. So we have log base 8 of 25 over 200. All right. And then let's see. 25 is 25 times 1, and 200 is 25 times 8. And so we have the log base 8 of 1 over 8. Okay, so if we factor, all right, 25 times 8 is 200. And so then the 25s can divide out, and we have 1/8. And so again, what power of 8 gives us 1/8? Well, that's the -1 power. 8 to the -1 gives us 1/8. Okay, so there's our answer. All right, pretty cool working with logarithms. All right, let's do some more problems. All right, let's see, maybe one or two more, and then I'm going to give you some to work on. Okay. Let's see. This was example 3. This will be example 4. Okay. Which one do we want to do? Let's do this one. Okay, log base 15 of 72 plus log base 15 of 75 minus log base 15 of 24. All right, so we're going to compress this. The plus tells us that these are being multiplied, and the minus tells us this is being divided. Okay, so we have log base 15 of 72 times 75 over 24. Okay, now, you know, I don't really want to multiply 72 times 75. What I want to do is factor and simplify this fraction. Okay. So let's see. We have log base 15. And let's write 72 as 12 times 6. And let's write 24 as 12 times 2. And then the 75 is here. Okay. And so now the 12s would divide out. And so let's divide those out. And then here, 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, so it's like we have this 2 times 3, and we're dividing out the 2's there. All right, so now we have 3 times 75. Okay, this is going to be log of 15, and this is 3 times 75, and that's 150, 225, isn't it? So that's a log base 15 of 225. Okay, 75 and 75 is 150, and then another 75 will give us 225. So 3 times 75 is 225. And so 15 to what power is 225? Well, that's the second power, isn't that true? 15 to the second is 225. Okay. All right. All right, let's give you some problems to do. Okay. Okay, so for you. Okay, so let's see. Here's what I didn't do. So example 1, let's just put 1 here so we have room. Okay, so we're going to do log base 4 of 9 minus log base 4 of 18 minus log base 4 of 8. Okay, all right, let's try another one. Another one for you to do. Let's see. I did the log base 8, and I did the log base 12, and did the log base 15. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, so log base 6 of 18 plus log base 6 of 10 minus log base 6 of 5. Okay, try that one. All right, and the third example, here we have log base 5, log of 5 minus log of 25 minus log of 2. All right, let's see if there's one more. I did 4 into those. Yep. Okay. We'll just go with those 3. Okay. All right. So hope this is helping you out to understand logarithms. And here are some problems for you to try. And we will do some more problems in the next lesson on logarithms. And so this is Mr. O'Donnell signing out from Check This Out Mathematics, and give me a thumbs up if you like these videos, and subscribe to my channel, and give me some comments down below. All right. Thank you very much.